Hola chamas y chamos, welcome back to Álvaro.dev Labs. Today I'm pretty excited about the topic that we're gonna cover because like 1 week ago I was in the Vuejs Amsterdam event. It was amazing to meet all the people that you have been collaborating, creating content and in open source, finally face to face. So I had the time of my life. I totally recommend it, and there were some really good talks there, and one of them is about the topic that we're gonna cover. I'm talking about a new tool in the Vite ecosystem that will allow you to create stories. What the stories are? Basically, there are ways of showing your components in an isolated mode and be able to develop it without needed to deploy a complex application. It also allows you to organize and document your components to showcases. For example, if you need to show them to the client or work with the UX team to solve certain issues. The tool is called Histoire, and I'm really holding my Venezuelan necessity of saying Histoire, but it's in French, just as vite and view, okay? It's pronounced Histoire, okay? And the tool was created by Guillaume Cho. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. If you're seeing this, please let me know. He's Vue.js core team member. You might know him from the Vue DevTools. And also Hugo Atal. Also let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. So it was in closed beta before. I remember I got access by sponsor them. So please, if you want this project to continue, feel free to sponsor the project and help the developers to continue working on it. But before we continue, a few words from our sponsors. This video is sponsored by Storyblok. Looking for a CMS solution that is great both for marketing teams and developers? Look no further. Storyblok is the headless CMS solutions that you always wanted to have. See how easy it is to change content for your website with a real-time visual editor, creating a delightful customer experience for your teams. Go from a content update to production in no time. Storyblok is easily integrable with multiple tech stacks, making your dev team's life easier. Go and try it for free at storyblok.com. So Histoire was born as an alternative to a storybook, but it's just more than that. It adds a lot of cool features that were only available through add-ons. So here we have the main interface. You can already see that I customized it with my personal branding. I changed the logo here and the colors. And when you select one of the stories, basically I'm taking the card for my portfolio, the card component. You can see that I have a grid of several variants of the same playground, right? So this area here is called the playground, and you can set, as difference from a storybook that you can only have one. Here you can have several versions of your component. Here you have the controls, where you can change the title, for example, or here also. So they are auto-generated. I think these ones are the ones that are auto-generated. This one was the manual control, so vice versa, I don't remember. And here you can really easily copy the code and just paste it whenever you're using it. So let's say, so I can go here and just copy and paste it and it will work. You can already see how interactive it is. I can change even the dark mode with a component that I made for that, and it changed the Histoire dark mode. You can also change it here. They have a toggle right away. They have fuzzy search, so here I can search for anything really quick. I can set different viewports. So let's see with the cards. This one has a grid, so I guess it doesn't allow it to do it. Let's see another one, for example, this or images. Yeah, I can change. Okay, here I can change the size of it, and I can set to mobile, etc. So it's pretty straightforward. Now let's see how can we install it on our project and work with it. Let's get started. So as usual, I created a new project using my boilerplate for Vue 3 and Vite called Vite. It's available on GitHub. You can use it. It brings a lot of cool features from the start, like CSS, components auto important, and other features. And you can install it directly using this command here and the name of your new app, and it's going to install it directly. Okay, so it's a basic application here. I already created some components, just a button and a card. I have it here in the preview. So I took the designs from another tutorial that we are doing on the channel. We are creating a sushi recipe app using Nox 3 and Storyblok called Sushi Wood. And these are the designs for the cards and so on. So I already took them. Check it out if you want. It's also a great tutorial. So what we are gonna do is, based on these two components, let's create stories for it using Histoire. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just going to close the dev server, clear up the terminal, and let's install it. So pm add Histoire D. If you're using npm, it's gonna be npm install or yarn add. Okay. Okay, so we installed at the time of this tutorial is the version 0.7.6. Okay, it's probably then when you see this video it already has another release, but it should work practically the same. Okay, so to get started, let's take the button component. It's just a basic button that has two styles. It has a prop that says if it's an outline or solid, and we are using CSS to change the styles. Okay, so how do we create a new story? As simple as I'm gonna duplicate this, rename it. Okay, and I'm going to put here .story.view. Okay, we should clean this up. Actually, I don't know why I took it from this from the view reactivity without importing, but it's fine. So let's remove here also the template and see how we can create a story. If we go to the documentation, let's see the stories. And for me, it was surprising at the beginning because I'm used to a storybook, which you have to create this weird template in. Maybe I can show you here. I have a previous project with it. So this is how you did it in a storybook before. So you have the configuration here. You needed to put all the plugins, and I remember I managed to do it with Vite. Okay, that was okay-ish, but you needed to put all the things here in the preview. And then in the components, let's take the button, and I have these stories, right? And then you have a different kind of format for the story, right? When you needed to create like this export default, when you have archetypes, and then you have the parameters, and then you have this kind of GSX templating kind of thing that was not really natural for people that does it in Vue. Okay, I think it's because the storybook was made at the beginning as a React tool, right? So it was really good with React, but with Vue it has never been that good. So let's see how we can do it here in Histoire. First thing this says is create a story component. Okay, so let's create a story component here. And then let's call it button, right? And to run it, let's save it. Probably we need to import it. So I'm gonna import our button, which is SW button label button. Yeah, oof, super original. Yeah. Okay, I don't know if we need the setup yet. We will see. So in the package JSON, we need to create a new one. I normally use Histoire as the name. Okay, and I don't really remember the command, so let's go here and see the command to use. So, oh well, I can copy and paste this tree. It's gonna be easier. Yeah, looks fine. So you have three commands. You have the Story.dev, the story build, and the story preview. Okay. So let's pm run Story.dev and see what happens. Okay, so it opens an application in the port 4K, and we already have the. I'm gonna zoom it a little bit. We already have this kind of like a panel, right? And here we have the button, which doesn't have the styles, right? Okay, we can fix that really easy. So the reason that it's not showing the styles is because we are using CSS and it's not being imported. So there are several ways of doing this. For now, I'm gonna do the easy one, which is just directly importing CSS here in our story, but there is a way of doing it globally for all the stories. We will see it in a little. And also, well, I think it's how to import. Let's check. Yeah, it is how to import. So right now we have our button. It's a default playground here. And as I showed you in the beginning, we have this part here that is automatically taking the props and assigning a control for them. Before these versions, like in the beginning, you needed to manually create the controls. But this is really nice. So in the label right now is button. We could change it for, I don't know, I am a pretty button, right? And we can set if it's outlined or not, right? And something I really like here is that it gives you right away like a boilerplate of your component with the props that you need to achieve the same result here, right? Also, you have different states that you can save and preview, so that's kind of cool. I haven't played with it yet, okay? And this is the default playground. We could even change the size. So here we can go mobile. Yeah, something like this. It really looks pretty bad, the button, if we do this, but you can change the viewport. Here you can go to a different page and see it like in standalone without all the stuff. Here you can change the background though, which is cool. You can put it black, okay, like grayish, or a checkerboard. Okay, that's pretty cool. It reminds me a little bit the software to create the pixel art that it has these kind of features, so it's kind of cool. Okay, and as simple as that, we already have button story. If I show you again how it was with a storybook, I needed to create a lot of boilerplate here. Of course, this one is more complex because I had more variants and stuff and arguments, but it was kind of tricky. You needed to create a slot template for each one. You needed to create a template for each one of them and then binding the arguments. So it was not natural on how Vue works, and this one is more likely. So in the next section, let's see how we can use variants. To create different variants, we can go to our story. I'm gonna put the correct number here and name here, and let's use the variant that comes with Histoire. Okay, so variant, and let's put inside our button like a playground, and we're gonna call this like I think default, right? So we're using a template inside. Okay, and this is going to be default, and let's paste it here. And the title of our first one, our first playground, is gonna be yeah, just playground. Okay, so if we save it and we go to here, we're gonna see a first playground which contains our button. Okay, let's create another variant that directly creates a button with outline. Okay, so we create another variant here just below, and this is gonna be outline, and here we can put, we don't need to put the default, we can put this like this, and say outline equal true. Okay. So if we go to our browser, now we have two of them. Okay. And you can see that they are like organized in a submenu here where you can change. But what if we want to have it like in the same layout? We can create some kind of a grid with it. The way of doing it is just going to our story, and here we set up a property called layout. When we are passing, we want to have it as a grid with a certain width for each one of the columns. So if we do that right now, let's restart this. Okay, right now we'll have like a little column here with the first variant, which is the playground. And if we select it, we can change the properties here in the controls. So it's gonna be a playground button, and this is gonna be the outline. And you see the controls are for each one of them. Okay, that's important. Okay, what else? You can actually change here like the icon and the color. Oops, sorry, Amazon.
One eternity later.
So sorry, I'm back. I just received the mount for El Gato S to put the camera. So this, I have this camera here, new, to record better videos. So I hope in the next videos you will have an increase in the quality. And I just buy it, and it came in exactly moment that I'm doing the tutorial. So sorry about that. I will continue mounting it later. Okay, so what we were doing, yeah, we were playing around with the variants, right? So in the variants, you can also do something really cool. I mean, it's something silly, but you can change the icon here. Okay, so if we go to, I think it's using iconess, like on the back. So what icon can we use for a button? Let's find one. Or outline. Yeah, well, outline is gonna be really generic, so I don't think that's gonna help us. So button, maybe. If not, I'm gonna put something really ridiculous. Oh, this one is shining, a smart button. Okay, let's use this one. I like it. Let's see if it works right away. So icon, material, yeah. Okay, my extension is actually taking it, so we have a pretty solid chance that it doesn't work, right? No. Oh yeah, it did. It changed it here. So okay, cool. You can change then the color of it. Right now, this one also has the basic color, but I think you can change it also. Let me check here. Oopsie. So I know you can change the icon color. Let's put it on the color of the application. So color, I have it here is like a shrimp color. I'm gonna take this bad boy here and put it here and see what happens. So maybe I have to refresh it, I don't know. It didn't work though. So maybe we can check it here in the API reference to variants. Okay, so they have icon color, not color directly. Okay, so it's gonna be icon color. Okay, maybe that will work. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, it does. Just really slightly. Well, it's kind of cool. It's really simple. Nice. I really like this feature. I don't know why. It's like, it's beautiful. You can show it to your clients in a really fashionable way. So you might be wondering why here in the code I create one variant with a template and one without it. So there is something really cool here that you can do that is called creating a state. Okay. So as any other component state, you can initialize the variables of each one of your variants, okay? So I'm gonna create an init state function, and this is gonna return basically outline false, because I want it to be false at the beginning, and I want the label to be I am a pretty bot. Okay, and we are gonna initialize it here. So init state, we're gonna pass the init state here, and here in default we're gonna use a slot props, and we're gonna pass the state. So here we have the state, and we are going to probably v-bind it, but let's do it separately and say, yeah, state.label, and here we can use outline equal the state outline. Not in init the state, but the state. Okay, so if we refresh here, something's wrong. I can feel it. So what did we did wrong? Yeah, we didn't put it here. Cool. So let's refresh this, and now we have our default variables here. We can also create the states in a different way. Instead of using init state, we can basically treat this story, and I'm going to close this one here. We can treat it it was a normal component, right? So let's create one state here that is reactive. So reactive here, yep. And we're gonna say that label, and we're gonna say sexy button, and outline is gonna be false by default. Okay, so we're going to add the import from view, which is not automatically doing it. I don't remember why. So import reactive from view, that should be fine. And instead of using this, we can remove the template using directly, and we're gonna use the state right away. Okay, so we can remove also this from here, and we are gonna use the state right away from this. So if we go here, we can see that it's automatically working the same as before. Something that I really like is that each variant space is really customizable. So even if we show in the button here, we can add text to explain the designers what the playground is doing, right? So here I can create, let's create a ref just to see you that it works exactly like any other component. So playground hint, you can tweak and play with the controls on this one. Okay, let's use a ref if we want to change it before. Just to continue a little bit with the composition API stuff. And here we can use it as a P. Let's probably put it some classes. Margin top 2, text XS, maybe text gray, I don't know, 600 maybe. So it's like a nice hint. Okay, so we put it in the outline one, or yeah, we put it in the outline one. Sorry, it was in this one. Okay, but you get the idea. It's not text, it's font, I think. To put it like really small, or not, or it's text SM. Yeah, text SM. Okay, which is gonna be this big because I'm zooming in. So if I zoom out to the normal one, you can see it in the normal. Okay, cool. Yeah. Now let's continue by creating another story, right? Because we already have the button one. Let's create one for the SW card, right? So I'm gonna create it from scratch. Let's say SW card story view. Okay. We're gonna set an SVC setup. Inside here is story. I don't know what the autocomplete is not working correctly, like the Emmet for me, but I will check it afterwards. So title SW card, okay, and if I don't remember, if I remember correctly, it was layout. So we can say it of type grid, maybe. I don't remember. Let's check. Layout type grid. Yeah, I was in the correct one, but yeah, too lazy. So okay, we're gonna create a variant which is gonna be. Come on, Emmett. So this one is gonna be the playground, and it's gonna have or is the cars. So yeah, but I don't want to do it that way. Okay, I created here in the main app. No page index. So I created one with title. Okay, let's copy this content here. Okay, put it here. Nice. So that should give us the first one. As we did in the previous, let's import CSS and let's import reactive from Vue. And let's create a state, so const state equal reactive. Okay, in this case, we're going to use these ones here. So move them here, also commas, and changing this for 2 dots. Okay, that should be enough. So here we could even say vvine. Let's see if it works, a state. Okay, let's remove the ref here and see if we have something in our program. So we have SW card, which is fine. It is in fact creating the variant, but is too narrow. So probably we will like to have a more wider, yeah, something like that. Okay, cool. So we can have another variant. And in this case, this one was state. We're going to use the same state, but in this case, I'm going to say orientation is equal to horizontal, which is the other one. I'm going to select this, and this is going to be horizontal. Okay. Let's see. If we refresh here. Okay, I don't have enough space maybe. So like this. Okay, it looks really crappy. Let's see why. So if I put 300, it still looks like really bad. Maybe because in the card I added like a minimum. But maybe we can even here reduce the size of it. So I'm going to create them as 200 pixels maybe. Okay, let's see, too narrow inside. No, because the cards are having the full width of the container, which is the variant here. What I can do is just directly here in the card, I put a minimum on 200 pixels, maybe it's too much. So what happens if I change it? Yeah. Okay, but for the image, yeah, let's remove this. Let's see what happens. Oh, but this is scrolling it. I don't like that. Okay, here we have it. A really ugly card, but it's doing what it needs. Actually, it's missing something because this is the whole card. Let's see, inspect it. So the card is this one, but it's not doing the shadow. I don't know why. Or I cannot see it, the shadow. Like it has a shadow here, but it's not showing it for some reason. So Excel maybe? Lol. Okay. For some reason it's not showing the. Let's see if we put in a padding here. Okay, I need to put the padding to the actual sand because it was overflowing, so that's why we couldn't see it at the beginning. Okay. What we can do here in the variant is let's try it out. I don't know if this is gonna work. So let's put P4 here. Okay. Is working? No. Maybe you cannot put directly classes into the okay, maybe, yeah. What we can also do is to show it correctly. Let's take a div with a P4 and full width, maybe, and put it inside. Let's see if it works. Okay, that worked. So we can do a similar thing here. So we save this and we put this one here and we select this whole line and we erase it. And yeah, now we have the correct one. Okay, it's looking better. If I remove this, we have it in the same place, so kind of nice. This card, it has too much of padding inside. Yeah, let's put like P4. P8 is too much, I think. If you remember in the previous story, in the bottom one, let's refresh it. It has something that is automatically taking, that is automatically detecting the props and creating the controls here. In the case of the cards, for some reason it's not doing it. Okay, so I will take this opportunity to show you how to create your own controls. Okay, so the way you create controls is pretty easy. You go to your variant, inside of the variant, and you are going to create something like a template here. Okay, template. Okay, and this one is gonna be controls. So my controls go here. Okay, let's see if it works. Okay, let's refresh. So it works, right? We have it here. My controls go here. Okay, cool. So inside of here, we can create our own controls. We could create like an input text. Okay, and using vmodel, change the state title, for example, right? So let's see if it works. So we go here to the horizontal. We had traditional misalignment, and we are gonna say I want to eat, right? So this is changing the state. Of course, the state is shared between both of them, so it's gonna change both, right? You want to have separate state, you need to create a separate one here. But yeah, this looks kind of ugly, right? And oof, if I have to create my own controls and so on and style them to make it pretty and so on, I'm gonna take too much time. So what I can use is the pre-built controls supported by Histoire. Okay, I'm pretty excited because I actually contribute to one of them, the select, and I'm planning to contribute to 2 more. But let's use this one here for this title. So we have a state title is an HST text. This is gonna be the vmodel state title. Okay, and the title is going to be title. Yeah. So you can see here now in the controls panel that you have this new control, which is basically looking better than the other one, and we can change here, right? That looks amazing. So let's set here orientation, right? So let's put it as vertical in the beginning, as view card, orientation. We can force this one again, I guess, to have horizontal. Yeah, okay, cool. And what we can do is let's create an select, okay. Select and B model state orientation titles, and optionals are vertical and horizontal. So we have vertical here and horizontal, and if we change it, it's gonna change our story, the one that we defined it with it. This one we are forcing it, but the other one not, and we can change it. I also programmed it in a way that you can pass objects with label and so on, but it accepts also an array of strings. Another thing that I really like about Histoire that wasn't available in a storybook, or at least not easily, is events. Okay, so sometimes you need to check, for example, if you click this, that is working, right? I created a different variant with a car with a button. Okay, so if we go here, we can see it. So I really want to know whenever somebody clicks here, what happens, right? And right now, in events, you will not see anything because you actually need to enable them in your stories. So for that, we're gonna use or import HST event for the client, and as easy as doing this. So I'm gonna copy and paste it for the example from the documentation. So we're gonna put a handle on the SW button, click with event, and we're gonna pass the event art. Go here and we click, you'll see this beautiful thing right here. So it's giving us all the information about the event that we're passing. Okay, so in this case, we are passing a click in the button, okay, and it's giving us all the information, pointer type, etc. So as easy as that, we can have events on our stories. But what about this other tab here that it says docs? So whenever you're sharing this with your clients, stakeholders, or even another team like UX teams, it's good to have some documentation, okay, how they can use your component. In this case, we can create it really easy with Markdown. So here we can go and say docs, okay? Let's set the language, which is gonna be, in this case, Markdown. And we can straight away use Markdown. So I'm gonna say car tutorial, okay? What happened, Gerald? Come here. This is Gerald, little Gerald. I don't know, he's playing right now, so it's making some noise. Sorry about that. So what do we have here? Okay, car tutorial, and this is a car component. Thanks, Copilot. And check out this cool video on Avaro.dev Labs. And let's pass the actual URL, which is this one. Okay, let's see if it works. So here you have car tutorial. This is a car component. Check out this cool video. Oh, the indentation is making fun of me. Sorry about that. Now it should work like expected. Now we'll have it. Cool. So if we click here, we go to our My Channel, and as easy as that, you can create documentation for each one of your stories. So last but not least, I'm gonna show you how you can configure your Histoire instance with different things. One thing is that in our stories, before we are importing in each one of them Uno.css to have the styles working. Imagine that you also need to add something to your to your Vue application, meaning a third-party plugin, let's say Piña. You want to create a state management with Piña and you need to add it so the stories work, right? So the way of doing that is that first, here in the root level, we're gonna create a histoire.config.ts. We're gonna export the default define config, but it's not the one from Vite, okay? It's the one from Histoire. And between the options, we're gonna put a setup file, and we are gonna put it on source. Let's call it histoire the setup.ts. Okay, so let's go to source and let's create a new file here called histoire.setup.ts. Okay, and here we are gonna import our Uno CSS. So here, okay, let's go back to the browser and let's check if it works. So if I refresh, you see that the styles are working. Just in case, I'm gonna cancel the dev and I'm going to run it again. So you can see that it's actually true that it's working with the setup. Okay, we go here, we refresh, everything works as expected. Okay, in case you want to add like another thing like Piña, for example, right? Let's just take this out. So what you need to do is just copy and paste this part here. I'm not gonna use it because I'm not using Piña here, but you import a defined set of Vue tree. I guess they're doing it this way because you will be able to use Histoire not only with Vue, with the Svelte and React, I guess, in the future. So that's why they have a specific one for Vue tree. And as another applications, as in another tools, you get the app instance and you can extend them with your third party, in this case, Piña. Okay, so as easy as that, you can integrate any, for example, maybe you're using Beautify for your UI components and you actually want to create stories of modules created using the components from Beautify. So that's how you extend it. I'm not gonna do this one, but I'm going to show you how to customize this interface to use your colors. So remember here the Histoire config that we created, we can create themes with, okay? So I'm going to use theme here and we are gonna pass several things. So for example, we can pass a title. Let me just put here this. So a title will be like, I don't know, Sushi Wood, the name of the application, right? We can pass, I'm gonna copy and paste it because I'm just reading it from here. So we can pass the colors. So let's pass the colors here. And also we can change the logo and where it goes. So logo, let's put it here. Cool thing about Histoire is that it brings some default colors, but in this case I'm gonna set the primary to be the same as in the Uno CSS config, which is the shrimp color. So I'm just gonna copy and paste that one here without the shrimp, maybe. So the primary color is gonna be this one. We need to remove the default one, and that should be it for the primary color. For the logo, I added some logos here, logo dark and logo light, because you can actually set each one of them. So here we're gonna go to the public, and we are gonna choose logo light and logo dark here. Let's see if it works. Let's go back here. Something broke. Oops. Oopsie. So let's run it again, see if everything is working as expected. Okay, seems like it. Fresh. Okay, it's not finding the root for the public. Okay. No, maybe I do need to put this. Or I need to put the public. Oh, now it worked. See, as you can see now, our dashboard or tool, this tool has the colors from the application itself, like the string color for everything, and we have the logo here. And if we change, we can also have the logo in the dark version. This is pretty amazing. I'm in love with this tool, and of course there is more features, but this is enough for one tutorial. I'm gonna do several more tutorials with more stuff. I hope you like it. Let me know if you try it out and you use it in any of your projects. Let me know your thoughts and give me your feedback so I can also add it to the GitHub repository of Histoire and improve it with the necessities of the community. And that's pretty much for today's video. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you did, please subscribe and drop a like and give me your feedback in the comment section. All the links are in the descriptions. Don't forget to say hi and happy coding!